Most people that you do, y'all already know, big example from a comedy perspective. You already know what time it is, smashing, dashing, sliding on through with a whole lot of energy. So please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all those things to help support your boy, and hit that bell notification for future fire content. So like I was saying, man, when it comes to like different groups over there, when I was in the hole, like I said, they, even though when I'm talking about the GP, man, like sometimes they take it back, but the conduct in the hole was off the hook. Like I said, it was different. People weren't like reaching out, like, what's your 5x5, what's your 7x7, they weren't doing any of that, man. So you had everybody interacting, man, and you see a lot of insensitive behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's a difference between being SNY, being TC, or being whatever, and acting like one. You know what I'm saying? Like, people know what I'm talking about. Like, people who sell soldier, talk shit behind the cell, people who gas people with shit, kids. That's the kind of stuff, like, I don't respect, And there was this one dude, he was refused to house, because you have refused to house. They come off the GP yards, the OHP, and PC yards, and all the different yards, right? He's a black dude. And like I said, they can go back and forth, and they don't care, really. They don't really take paperwork over here or do any of that stuff, but that's not my business. And you had one in particular, right, who would always get into it. Every time he was going to yard, you see all these dudes that were saying that they were GP, like they would be cell soldiering, talking shit. Some of them would talk shit about Rasa. I noticed because there was a lot of issues going on between the blacks and the Mexicans, and the blacks were pretty deep. I heard they were giving to them. Is what I was hearing. That's personally what I heard. There at Maury. But like I said, it was a lot of disrespect. And this one dude, he was cool with me. I had no issues with him. He was a youngster. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't stupid, but he would always engage back whenever he was checked or got us by some of his own people. And I seen him one time spit on some dude, and I've seen other people say, we can handle this, and he's talking about, I'm tired of hearing people talking about handling stuff and it not happening. So, he was talking about gassing people and doing all kinds of stuff, man, which I don't respect. Now, when I was in there, in the hole, I was okay. I was doing all right. I had motion. Anybody knows what motion is? You know what I'm saying? It's them bravos. You know what I'm saying? I had motion in there. Nobody else had it. And so when we're out there in the yard, the cages, right? Now, granted, we're in the hole. You're not supposed to come out unless you're handcuffed behind your back. You're escorted everywhere you go to the cages and whatnot. Now, this dude was across from me, and you can fish over there, and so the dude across from me, right? It's Afghan from Phoenix. He sent me a kite, right? And I get on him. I said, okay, I'm waiting on something because I never went out there with what I had. If I did, I wouldn't tell people I had stuff on me because you got everybody fucking in your mama trying to get something for free, man. And I'm not going to give it to anybody for free. There were very few people that I fucked with in the hole. Okay? Now, as that's going on, the same dude that I've seen that just talk shit to, you know what I mean? And when they talk shit, they're using the B word, the punk word, the N word, and talking shit, saying fuck your dead homies. They're doing all this shit, man. They're like, I'm from, if you talk to me like that, go and get it in. You're not gonna talk to me. I'm gonna get you somehow. But I never had that because I wasn't dealing with people. But this dude would always get into it with people, and I was kind of shocked because some of these dudes were supposed to be GP. They came in there getting off on cops and stuff like that. And like I said, it was really interesting over there, man. Like I said, the Africanos pretty much had a lot of pull with the COs over there. Now, the dude next to him, which was an Africano school, he was GP. I didn't know it was him. I thought he was some Rasa dude. A lot of these random Rasa dudes, they just, especially if they were on different, like, PCRs or on the white yards, I didn't like to get down. Very few I really respected. So I would just keep my distance and let my guys know them. But when I see people sell soldier and do all that kind of stuff, I pull away. I won't fuck with you. I just don't respect it. Now, he starts saying, hey, bro, and it ended up being an Africano that always has some stuff, right? And I didn't know it was him, bro. So I told him, nah, I'm waiting on it. You know what I'm saying? Just to, kind of just be respectful, but ignore him, you know what I mean? Because I probably thought it was something I wasn't going to see, but it was actually some dude that always used to hit too. And I probably would have fucked with him, right? But since he knew that I was talking to the dude that was sending, he jumped in the conversation, asked me for one too, and the dude got mad at him and said, bro, why the fuck you jumping in my fucking business? Bro, he ain't got shit for you. And so they started arguing. Now, granted, the dude that used to always be talking shit, right? He was cool with me, but he was a youngster, and I get it. He was like a young Africano that just liked to run his mouth and really probably hadn't got served yet. Hadn't got put in his place. He was refused to house. He came up the yard for fucking having a piece, and then he refused to house with people. So which means basically he wouldn't take the cell. Okay. The other dude was GP taking the cell, and he just told me, he goes, man, he goes, we can get it in. And the dude tells him, man, I'm tired of fucking hearing about this, getting it in, getting it in. He goes, I ain't seen no picture shit, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know what I mean? Because there's no cameras back there. Now, you had a rookie CO back there. And now, with these rookie COs, they get really lazy. And so sometimes you tell a CO, it's like, hey, I want to move from this cage to that cage. And they'll take you out, and sometimes they'll take you out in handcuffs, and sometimes they don't. They're not supposed to not take you. So dude told the cop, says, man, I want to switch cages with this dude. Right? So the cop opens the dude's cage that was talking shit, and then opened the other cage to switch them. They started getting, bro, the one dude was bigger, right? He went in there and handled his business real quick. The seal tried to stop it. The seal came out, closed the fucking thing. I mean, you just seen him to square up. And you seen the dude that was always talking shit. You could tell he was fucking scared. You could see it in his eyes that he was scared. There's no camera factor, so nobody's gonna see nothing. None of these seals can get in trouble. But the seal wasn't really trying to set anything up. He thought these dudes were cool with each other, and he was new. So after he tried to kind of hey, stop, he went in and closed the door, and the dude that was fucking, I respect the dude, the GP dude, because he said, all right, I'm gonna show you what I'm about. He didn't wolf, he didn't disrespect him, because I'll show you what time it is. He went in there and tipped him up about 3-4 times. Dude didn't get one hit. Picked the dude up and body slammed him. Only hit him one time and then stopped. And then came out and said, okay, well, good. I told the cop to go back to my cage and stuff, right? He didn't trample on the dude. He didn't stop the dude out. He could have stopped the dude out. But basically, like I said, you never know what to expect in prison. That's what I always try to tell people. Just because you're in the hole or just because you're on a low-level yard, I mean, there's people getting hurt all the time everywhere. You know what I mean? We were on lockdown right now for an alleged stabbing that happened in my run. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 days ago. We just came out of lockdown. We're on lockdown for only 1 day. So you never know just because you're on these different yards. I mean, every yard I've been to since I've been here has been violent. But when you're in the hole, you don't think that you're going to have access to get with somebody. But like I said, this dude was shocked. He used to always run his mouth talking about, yeah, I never see anybody get it in. Finally, a cop got pretty much played. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really get played because if the dude wanted to. And that's the thing. If the cops let you get it in when you're not supposed to, especially in the hole because there's cages sector, you're not supposed to trample the dude. You're not supposed to stomp the dude out because all that does is it makes him have to fill out a report. And so the way that dude did it, he handled his business, put the dude in his place, body slammed him. You know what I'm saying? Only hit him one time when he body slammed the dude and then stopped. And then stepped on back. And then the dude didn't even talk shit because I talked to him a couple days later. I said, man, I actually respect the way that you handled that because, you know, you didn't talk no shit. You said, watch, we can do this today. I'm gonna find a way to get this in. And the dude was kept on saying, I keep on tired of hearing this, you know, and whoa, you bitch ass, using the N-word and this and that. They got it in. And that's the thing you gotta remember when you're in prison. You know, there's different groups sometimes that do have pool with COs and can get shit done. And if you make enemies with people and you think that you can just run your mouth, there's always that day where you're gonna have to pay the piper, man, but someone's gonna come see you about something, man. And like I said, there's nothing worse than seeing cell soldiers and percent that behavior. I don't respect it, man, and I used to withdraw myself from a lot of people because I was shocked because even the GPs over there were engaging in it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like everywhere you go, you see Rasa using the N-word over here too. You know what I mean? It's crazy. That's like, and it's usually everybody's used to using it. It's like a trick. And then you hear people talking shit, and you see people's true colors come out sometimes about where they really stand, man. And you know what I'm saying? I've seen fucking when, you know, Mexicans and Latinos get into it, talking shit behind the cages, and I've heard blacks say, man, you guys want to be black and this and that, but you can't. And stuff. So okay, that's what, you know, that's what people sometimes think you feel, you know. But like I said, this situation was basically a cell soldier getting put in his place, man. You know, nobody respects that, man, anywhere. But you're going to have people who do it, and it's why you mind your own business. It's why you stay on your own P's and Q's, and it's why you don't come to prison. You know, you never know. You got people on all these different yards that just because they're on certain yards or they're GP, you have dudes that are winnies on GP, and you have some savages on GP. You have some savages on PC, and you have some fucking winnies on PC. So prison's prison. You know, I've seen both sides, and I'm not gonna lie, I think it's more wilder on this side. You know what I'm saying? Since I barely touched down, you know, I think it's way more wilder, way more less structure. But at the end of the day, you can also step away from that stuff if you're not involved in it. If you want to be involved in the shit that's going on in the yard, you're gonna find drama. Whether it's GP or PC, OIC, partial IC. I've been on all those yards so far, man, and it's all the same. It's all watered down. If depends on how you act. And like I said, just because, you know, I mean, my standings back home or whatever, I'm never going to act a certain way. I'm always going to hold myself with dignity and respect, and I expect that in return. And if you don't give it to me in return, just step away. I don't want to be around that kind of shit, because if you start to be around that shit, then you become part of it. And that's what I noticed too with a lot of talking to one of the homeboys over there. You get a lot of dudes who done time back home, and you know, back home we weren't using dope. You know, very rarely you hear about homeboys using dope. Next thing you know, you hear about homeboys getting strung out and shit, and tweaked out, and the dealers making 6 pieces because they think the whole yard's against them. I shit you not. Like I said, I'm still going to hold myself with high standards, respect on all levels. And this is just a story about how it is in prison, man. Just because people think they're behind a door, or if people can't get to them, people can get to you wherever you're at, man. Don't come to prison. Support Blacko, I'm out.